Good evening, social work colleagues. My name is Dijon Hughes, and I would like to welcome you all to the annual social work conference here at Southern University's uh, social work department. This year's theme is re-examining the theoretical foundations of social work. And today, my task is not to bore you, but to simply just point out to you four theories um, that will advance and help social work practice. I'm going to be talking about the psychoanalytic theory, the cognitive developmental theory from the perspective of two authors, Jean Piaget and Vygotsky. And I will also be talking about the psychosocial theory from Erik Erikson. So, the first theory that I would like to talk to you about is the psychoanalytic theory by Mr. Sigmund Freud. He believed that all behavior was motivated. He broke down the mind into three parts: the conscious, preconscious, and unconscious. The conscious is where all thoughts are readily available, and once energy is diverted from those, they are gone away. Then you have the preconscious. This is where thoughts are immediately available when someone asks you a question, then you can immediately pull from the preconscious. Then you have the unconscious. These are the thoughts and the desires that you have hidden that you don't even know about. Then we have Freud's structural personality, where he has the id, which is focused around the pleasure principle. You have the ego, which is the reality principle, and then you have the superego. So, in all three of these, we are discussing basically your wants. The id wants what it wants. The ego tells you, tries to find a better way to satisfy that desire. Then you have the superego, which tells you that that's not right. So wants you to do the right thing. These are just the stages of development from Freud's stages of development. We have the oral, the anal, the phallic, the latency, and genital stages, all which are driven by sexual forces. Then we have cognitive developmental theory by Jean Piaget. He believed that schemes were the building blocks of knowledge. Um, he focused more on about he focused on equilibrium and how was achieved through schemes. He believed that adaptation equaled assimilation plus accommodation. As you can see on the picture, the young lady, she was practicing assimilation. Then we have she sees a cat and she calls it a dog. So her father explains to her that it's not a dog, it's a cat. So basically, you take what you know and what you learn and you put it together to adapt to your environment. And this is just Piaget's periods of cognitive development, starting at birth and ending in adulthood. And it starts at the sensory motor and the pre-operational, concrete operational, and the formal operational. As we move along, we talk about Vygotsky's cognitive developmental theory, where he basically stressed that um, development was basically came from culture. Culture was a huge part of children's development. He focused on the language and speech as being a very important factor as well. He believed that social learning preceded development. Now, Vygotsky was also adamant about the proximal development, zone of proximal development, where basically you have help to help you to gain knowledge. Just like if a parent was to help their child with their homework in order to better understand it. Moving along, the psychosocial theory by Erik Erikson is originally 8 stages by Erik Erikson, but Newman and Newman added 3 more. And he believed that at each stage, one experiences psychosocial crisis, where basically you, basically, that's where life's, I mean, not life, but the expectations of your surroundings, the surroundings and your competencies kind of go hand in hand, and they kind of like butt heads. So you find yourself into a psychosocial crisis. And these are just the stages of psychosocial development, according to Erik Erikson. And tying them all into the social work practice, the psychoanalytic theory helps to better understand what motivates people's behaviors. The cognitive developmental theories help you to gain insight in the thought processes of the clients and understanding that many things are encouraged and taught by your peers, by your parents, your surroundings. And the psychosocial theory just basically helps to understand and examine the root of the client's problems. I wish you all well, and I hope you enjoyed the presentation.